Hi, this is the Vaganian Devastation, which takes themes we've already seen in the Trompowsky poison pawn variation to a much higher level. It's the game played in 1974 between former Soviet champion Rafael Vaganian of Armenia and Viktor Kuprychik of Belarus, and it's a sensational game of unadulterated attack. And after d4, knight f6, bishop g5, the Trompowsky, black tries the aggressive c5, and white avoids trading pawns, gains space in the center with d5. Queen b6, we've seen this move before, punishing the bishop for its early exit and trying to hit b2. White can give that pawn b2, give it up, and black can capture. But after white retreats the bishop to d2 and guards the knight on c3, that queen has to make a quick retreat. And that's exactly what black did in the game, because leaving the queen there is perilous for black. So queen b6 and e4, trying to get e5 in, so black stops that with d6, but f4 renews the threat of e5. And here black plays a natural move, g6, and it looks correct because black plans to get to work on a dangerously loose diagonal, but it is in fact incorrect, and a more confrontational move in the center like e6 or e5 would have been better. So white continues with e5, takes, and knight d7 hitting e5, knight f3 guards, and bishop g7 hits the pawn again. Instead of guarding the pawn, we have a little intermezzo, rook b1, and the queen retreats, and now e5 to e6, more attack. After takes, white doesn't recapture, rather knight g5 hitting the pawn on e6 with deadly consequences. So knight at f6 releases the bishop on c8, guarding the pawn. Now we have more relentless pressure by white as bishop b5 comes in, and a couple of strawberries have appeared on the screen, and that shows that black can't interpose this check at all because of knight takes e6 or d takes on c6. So king f8 is played, pawn takes on e6, and black has a few moves available. Queen d4 is one, knight c6, but black can try a6 hitting the bishop. So does white move the bishop away? No, he doesn't. Bishop e3 and threatening queen takes queen, checkmate. So black wants to avoid the trade of queens and plays queen to a5. And now that queen is hitting the bishop on b5 and the knight on c3. And Vaganian coolly castles, ignoring those two threats, because if queen takes c3, queen d8 is going to be mate. And if pawn takes on b5, rook takes b5 is still going to be pretty much winning for white. So after white's just castled, h6 was played by Kuprychik, and we've got now the hanging gardens where three of white's minor pieces are under attack. And what does Vaganian do? Queen d3 just simply issues another attack. The attack now of queen takes g6 and queen f7 mate. And that knight there on f6 is being pinned on the f file, so the king steps out the way to g8. The game is pretty much lost here anyway, but Vaganian plays queen g6, threatening queen to f7. So after bishop takes on e6, giving up the bishop, knight takes, and we've got another threat, queen takes g7, which is mate. Rook h7 guards it, and now a nice finish by white. An exchange sacrifice, rook takes f6, threatening queen e8. Well, after knight d7 was played in the game, now the rook on a8 is guarding e8, but giving up the knight on d7, Vaganian took it, and here black actually resigned. The game might have continued with queen takes c3, but we have a nice finish here for white. Rook f8 check, because after rook takes f8, knight takes on f8, and it's basically game over, because first of all, if king, well, we got here queen takes e3 check, we've got king h1, and king takes on f8 is going to be mate with queen e8 mate. If black would have tried queen f8, we have mate after bishop e6, king takes f8, and rook d1 is leading to mate there on d8. And the other variation, if we look at a move like queen to e4, we've still got bishop e6 check. And if king h8, the queen, white queen, to f7 is going to be mating on g8. So this has been the Vaganian Devastation trap in the Trompowsky. Hope it was useful. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.